Well, we are on to episode 2 of Ahsoka, where it gets no better than the previous episode. Last time we left off, we had Sabine in a lightsaber fight, a not very good lightsaber fight, where what happened is, we'll go through it again just to make you aware. So this is what happened. Sabine got stabbed right through in the body with a lightsaber. Now, how lightsabers work, for some reason I have to explain that, because some people seem to think that lightsabers are knives. So the way a lightsaber works is it's heat. It's very, how many degrees of heat? I don't know. It's essentially, lava. Just think of it that way. So what happens when someone gets stabbed with a lightsaber? Well, that burns all your fucking insides and you die. That is what happens. Whereas what they do in this show, for some reason, or, I don't know, Dave Filoni's an idiot. That's really all I can say. So that's what happened in the previous episode. You're dead. There's no question. There's no ifs and buts. She's dead. That's what happens. Qui-Gon Jinn died. Why did he die, but no one else does? Why is it? Especially with Disney Star Wars, we continue to do this. Where we go to the next day, and what do you know? Oh, she's alive. How the fuck did that happen? How did that happen, you ask? Well, it's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. I don't know why people feel the need to defend stuff like this, but it's one of those moments you realise how many fucking idiots there are around. Where people say, oh, well, maybe it didn't hit the vital areas. It's like, do you not understand how heat works? Do you not remember the scene from The Phantom Menace, the very beginning, where Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan are opening up a blast shield door with their lightsabers? You see how it works. Imagine that inside your body. Everything is melted. It doesn't have to... Again, it's not the same as knives, but that's what people try and say. That, oh, well, it must not hit any What the fuck are you smoking? That's the question I come to. So, yeah, already, you've just now sunken straight into bad territory with that. Now, moving forward, there's no reason to be invested in a lightsaber fight, because they're not going to die anyway. So what is the point of me caring now? You've now removed any stakes from a lightsaber fight by doing this again, when you didn't have to do it this way. You didn't have to... I don't know what we're to gain out of Sabine getting stabbed with a lightsaber. It doesn't bring anything to the table. So it's just stupid that nothing came out of it. You made a pointless decision, and it makes your show look worse. Because you've had it... I know, you get stabbed with a lightsaber. No, you don't die. Even though Qui-Gon Jinn did, and he got stabbed in the same area and died almost instantly. Whereas now Sabine's fine. She's fine. She's up. She starts like working on things in about 5 minutes after just being stabbed the previous night. Which, again, put a lightsaber in a body, that's going to melt some shit. That's what that's going to do. But apparently, I guess what I take from this now, I guess we can skinny dip in lava. That's my assumption. If you think that's how heat works, apparently. So, yeah, she's fine. Utter bullshit. So, we're back with Ahsoka, fucking boring, no personality having asshole. We're back with Ahsoka. A quick word of advice, Dave. Can you at least give your characters personalities? But there's just nothing. You get nothing out of any of the characters that are in this show so far. Just nothing. No personality. No character. We have the same issue we had throughout the entire series of Mando, where our main character has no character. Anything he does, it's like we don't know why he did it. We don't know why he wants to be a man. We don't know any, and it's the same here. There's just nothing to pull out of Ahsoka, you know, based on the live action stuff. And the same goes for Sabine or the Hera, whatever the fuck her name is. There's just nothing to get from them. They're just very, very boring people. There's no likable qualities about them. They just kind of exist. That's it. We've had Ahsoka in season 2 of Mando, in Boba Fett, Mandalorian season 2.5, and 2 episodes now of her own TV show. We know fuck all about her. There's nothing to know about her. There's no personality. So that just, you know, what am I attached to here? There's really nothing. There's nothing to invest yourself in. There's no characters whatsoever. So Sabine is fine. She's up and at 'em. Nothing wrong with her. Nothing wrong with her. Go fuck yourself, Dave. That's all I can say. So what do we get here? So Ahsoka says, "Oh, how many droids attack you?" She says, "Oh, well, 2, but I killed 1." So what has happened in the previous episode? They have now lost the star map that leads them to the location of Thrawn that someone put in a chamber for some reason, somehow. We don't really know why. They've now lost that ball. Just as Sabine in the previous episode unlocked it and figured out, right, he's over there. Although she has none of the data, so they can't remember, they can't see where exactly they got to go. They just know, oh, well, it's at this somewhere in this other galaxy. So they don't have that anymore. So right, well, it's over. It's over. You no longer have that. You don't know where Thrawn is. You don't know where the ball is. You're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. But no, what we have is a big, massive bullshit contrivance. That's what we have. They've, again, how many Disney, especially Disney Plus shows, do they do this in? Where it's like, right, we're fucked. We had it in Secret Invasion, where you had Nick Fury kill a guy they were interrogating that was the only person that had the information that they needed. So they were fucked. But luckily, someone just randomly decided to follow a person for no reason whatsoever, and that gives them the information they need. So it's the same here. They've got nowhere to go now. They have lost any chance at, a robot stayed in the watchtower for some reason when it shouldn't have done, because it had no reason to do so. So that's what they do. And it's just complete horseshit. It's like, again, you don't have to write it this way. Just have it so they don't lose the ball. But we have to go on this big goose chase, this big fetch quest to get this ball, to get this star map. So it's just, the further we go, it's just sinking further and further into Mando territory. So that's what she tells Ahsoka. So Ahsoka is going to go to the watchtower. Well, first we get this scene. Not much happens anyway. You get a lot of scenes like that. Nothing really happens. So they've got the star map. They put it on this thing. The witch comes over. And we just find out stuff. Right, where did I write this down? I don't know why this is further down. So apparently it's the witch comes along and she says, oh, that's where... Alright, we don't get to that part yet. I'm skipping ahead, so we'll just go back a bit. So Ahsoka turns up at the watchtower. She goes in for her big, massive contrivance to give them the information to get them back on track and to make the story continue. Because otherwise, this is where the series ends. Unless if you can come up with a better way to do this. But no. So she goes in... And what do you know? Look, if you see up there, this droid jumps down. She's like, "Oh, I was hoping you were still here. Why is the droid still there? It was hiding. It was hiding up in the ceiling for what reason? Like, from what the droid knows, Sabine is already dead, so it's got no reason to stay around. Oh, but no, we need the series to continue. So that's why it's there. So then we can get key information off of its head. The head that Sabine punched with her bare hands. She punched a metal droid's head with her bare hands. Right, your hands are broken. That's what happens. So Ahsoka goes back, and look, yeah, she's up and out of bed now. She's fine. She even has the balls to say, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm very resilient, me." Yeah, not to a lightsaber, a lightsaber stab. Doesn't work that way, my darling. So just give it a rest. You're not getting out of this one. You're just not getting out. You're not getting out of being stabbed by a lightsaber. So it turns out, oh look, I can find out where this droid came from. So it gives them key information because this droid, for no reason at all, decided to stay behind at the watchtower. Complete bollocks. Complete bollocks, that's all it is. So she figures out where it was, that it's on a planet. It came from a planet called Corellia. And that is a planet that our witch doctor woman, that she had facilities and stuff like that on there during the Empire times. So they figured out plot-relevant information based on contrived bollocks. So, yeah, they've got it. So that's where they're going to head off next. She's like, I want to come. You just got stabbed by a lightsaber. Fuck off. They say no, and then her and Hera have a conversation. You know, she's like, oh, she doesn't want me to go with her. You know, whatever. None of it's interesting. I don't care about any of these characters because Dave Filoni has given me no reason to. Again, that is especially when you're in the place that Star Wars is, where everybody is just apathetic towards you and you desperately need a new audience, and you think the best idea is, oh, well, we'll go with something based off a cartoon that fucking nobody saw, that nobody has seen, and then we just act as if everybody's seen it. When it's like, no, you need to get as big an audience as possible. You need to get newer people in. That's what your goal is as the Star Wars brand, because of how dead you are. That is what you... So to just have a show where you just have stuff and pretend like everybody knows what the fuck's going on or has context for any of this is absurd. It's completely bollocks. I don't know what the plan here was. Rather than just go, we'll treat the live action as if nobody has seen any of this before. You know, but instead... They're seemingly trying to pay off stuff from the animated show, so whenever anything happens, it's like, right, you know, I've got no investment here. Your goal from the first episode should be able to get my investment, but you can't do that when you're showing me stuff I've got no context for. So this again, it's not. This is a show that, again, we already know it's not going to be getting a big viewership. That is very apparent. I mean, if Andor couldn't get a good viewership, and Andor is the good show, then what chance does this have? And a lot of that is because of Obi-Wan, because of Boba Fett, because of Obi-Wan. You piss so many people off. Doesn't matter what you do, people ain't coming back, and you desperately need a bigger audience. And you're like, yeah, I know. We just pretend like you know what's going on. So just a really stupid plan, rather than just, you know, act as if, you know, it's live action, it's in a different medium. So let's try and give some context to things, or not try to pay off stuff from the animated show. That's a complete waste of time, because that's for a minuscule amount of people. So it's just really, really backwards. It makes no sense why you would do the show in this way. So they're at this little podium. Let me just go back. I haven't missed anything. No. So she uses a little star map. They go, right, there's Thrawn up there. She says that's where Thrawn was banished. Yeah, but he was... he was presumed dead, and they're like, oh no, he was banished. So why was he presumed dead in the first place when you know that he's banished? I don't know what that logic is. Again, I've still got no context for why this Ezra guy and Thrawn, they are where they are. Why is that? Who knows? Why did someone put this little star map in a chamber? Why did they make it in the first place? I don't know. It's just this, it's just fucking Rise of Skywalker shit. It's just our MacGuffin. So, yeah, she's like, that's the pathway to Peridea, some shit like that. Ray Stevenson says, that's fairy tales. And she's like, that's based on truth. And then she has, like, I don't know, like Jesus is speaking to her or something. She's like, oh, Thrawn is speaking to me. And you hear, like, whispers. Yeah, she says, Thrawn calls to me across time and space. The Eye of Sion is on its way. And they're talking about, some person called Marok, get all these things done, make sure these tasks are done before the arrival of the Eye of Sion, whatever that is. I'm not quite sure. So that's what we get there. And he tells his little apprentice woman, the psychopathic one, go back to Corellia. That's the planet that Ahsoka and co are going to go to, based on, they got that information from a load of bollocks. So that's where she's going. So Ahsoka lands, and this guy has probably the same reaction I have to this show so far. He's just kind of like, can't be fucked with them at all. Because whoever called this show boring women in space were right on the money. Really just boring characters to follow around and do nothing. So they've gone to this little base. This used to be the facility of that witch woman. They're talking about stuff like, oh, were your workers, did they have an allegiance to the Empire? He's like, yeah, some of them. They're like, oh, why is that? Oh, well, because they're just workers. They don't care about that. We needed to keep this running. What apparently this facility does is it strips, I assume, Empire, hyperdrive things, and then build ships for the New Republic. So that's what we get from that guy, and then they just have a boring conversation that, nobody cares about. So where is it? Yeah, so you have that Hera. She says to Ahsoka, it looks like connecting with Sabine paid off. You lost the star map. How is that paying off? How is that paying off, you connecting with Sabine, if you lost the fucking thing you need? Whatever this fucking dialogue is. So, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Don't know why you'd say that. Very stupid of you. She's like, well, at least she unlocked it. It's like, that's... And as Ahsoka points out, that's no good to us, you see. She unlocked it. We don't know where the fuck to go, though. So, I don't know what her problem is. Whatever her problem is. She's like, she got us here. Yeah, based off bollocks. Based off a contrivance. So then, for some reason, she says, "Oh, would you maybe consider taking on Sabine as your apprentice again?" I don't know where all this is coming from. It's just randomly. Oh, will you take this person that isn't here and can't talk for themselves to take? Can you take them on as an apprentice? What makes you think Sabine wants to do that? I don't know. It's just a very awkward conversation, and this part just comes out of nowhere. Yeah, can you take her on as your apprentice? She needs structure and all that. Ahsoka says she's not ready. She says it like a mop, like an inanimate object, because that's how Ahsoka comes across. So, yeah, she says, nah, she's not ready. So then Hera says, how do you know if someone's ready or not? And Ahsoka says, you just know. Later on in the episode, Sabine calls Ahsoka up and says, I'm ready. So I guess that means she's ready. Okay. Whatever. So that's what we get out of that scene. We then go back to So that's all that's all a lightsaber done was that. Oh, it just left a little scar. Didn't melt anything whatsoever. It's just a little scar. That's what a lightsaber does, apparently. Absolutely insane. I don't know how people can defend that. I really don't. So, this is just a long way of saying, hey, Sabine, why don't you train as a Jedi again? You know, it's funny that happening now as Ahsoka is also being questioned about this. She gets a pep talk from this droid. This droid, I don't know what it is about this droid, but I just want to fucking punch him in the face. There's just something about him. He's just, I don't know what it is. It just, I don't know. Just talks nonsense. So yeah, it's just a long way of saying, here's your lightsaber. Why don't you go and train? And so she's going to do that. So we then come into the control room. You know, there's this thing down here that is, you know, a hyperdrive. So Hera's like, the New Republic doesn't need a hyperdrive or something for a ship that big. You know, something along those lines. So she asks him, you know, what spaceship is this for? What kind? What class? He tells her, oh, that's classified. And she's like, classified? Nothing. I'm a general. Nothing's classified to me. Well, I mean, are you the general of this? I don't think just being a general means everything is not classified. Pretty sure there's things that will still be classified. You know, I don't know really who runs this organization here, but I don't really get the impression you can just walk in and say, yeah, that classified information, you know, it's fine. As she says, I can authorize it, and the guy says, no, I don't think you can. So she just really comes across like this Hera. Just, I don't know, sanctimonious, just the delivery of lines. So she says, well, I'm authorizing it. And then he calls over this droid, who just so happens to be the droid that has relevant information out of all the droids in this place. It's just lucky enough that this one that comes over has the information they need. So the droid starts saying, like, because they ask about, oh, do you have any, like, the droids that we've seen are assassin droids that tried to kill Sabine. So they ask about them, and then this droid says, oh yeah, I ran into one of them the other day. Like putting this guy right in it. I bumped into him, I checked the stock or whatever, this droid had higher clearance than me and told me to piss off. And they're like, oh, do you remember where this droid went? And then it says, oh, I think it's leaving on that transport right now. You came just at the right time. So yeah, you get this guy, as it says here, that shouts for the Empire. All right, I don't know what I don't know why you shout that before you shoot. It's like she's gonna spot you. Why are you doing that? Why not just shoot her? And then you can say for the Empire, or maybe don't say it at all. That would be what I would tell you. So yeah, he shouts for the Empire. She turns around and kills him, because why shout when you're about to kill someone? Letting them know, giving them an opportunity to stop you. So all hell breaks loose. They jump out, and Ahsoka chases this thing that is carrying a hyperdrive. So she's going to have a lightsaber fight now. Who cares? You don't die from it. So we can move on. Move on. There's what is there to care about? Nothing. Again, it's not good choreography and anything like that. So while Ahsoka's doing this, Hera jumps on her ship, and she chases behind it. She's saying, return to port. It's not going to do, it's clearly not going to do that. So why even bother? Just follow it. Just follow it. And don't follow it in a way that is going to risk your own life. Maybe do it the smart way. No, she does it the former. So as you can see, it's got guns on it. So it starts shooting at her, and she just flies behind it. She just lets it shoot her rather than go, what I'll do is I'll fly under it, and then I'm under it. It can't shoot me then, can it? But no, it's just like, no, I'm just going to fly behind it and try and dodge all these missiles. And she dodges about 40 of them. 40 or 50 missiles. It's like, yeah, bullshit. But it's like, just fly under them. Why are you putting yourself in that situation? Just go underneath them and you'll get closer to them that way. Rather than going, whoa, 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 all these missiles coming at you. Honestly. So, yeah, she just continues driving the same direction. Continues flying the same direction. It's like, what are you doing? Just fly under it. It's very, very simple. But she just doesn't do it. So their goal is she's going to get a tracker on it. For some reason, I don't know why you wouldn't just have a thing that shoots a tracker. Instead, what they have this RD whatever, this R2 unit that has hands. Right, okay. And the little droid just throws it on the ship. I'm like, why did you do it that way? You would think you would have something that you could just shoot a tracker out. Something along those lines. So that goes on for a bit. The fight runs out of steam. Ahsoka chases this guy. We also get lightsaber boomerang. So he does that, as you see. So that's going to come back. So just as she gets to the end, it's got our apprentice woman there. Still don't know her name. So they've lost them. Hera's still following this. She puts a tracker on it. All that. I'm starting to smell plot armor. How you manage to avoid multiple missiles for a good 10 minutes. A good 10 minutes, missiles and guns firing at you constantly, and you're just fine. You're just fine. But, again, you could have went under it. That would have made sense. So, yeah, also, just as that guy leaves, he force pulls his lightsaber back. Right, I'm not being funny, but you could have killed her there. You could have killed her. You had the opportunity. You didn't go for it. But they got the tracker on the thing. I don't know. We go back here for reasons. She starts pulling her Mando gear out. You know, those idiots. Idiots. Whenever Mandalorians show up, they're just idiots. So she's going to become one of them. She cuts her hair. And then she calls up Ahsoka and says, "I'm ready." All right, okay. Yeah, but she just said you weren't ready, so now you're ready because you said you're ready, even though she also said that I have to think you're ready. Again, there's no build-up to any of this. There's just no build-up. It's just, she's ready now. She's now going to go fighting the Jedi way, for some reason. So she walks up to this mural, whatever. And then she walks up to Ahsoka. And she's like, "Oh, I like the new hair. Wow, but this is really interesting." She likes her new hair. And what's her name? And Sabine says, "Oh, it's a lot more me." Okay. And then the droid comes out and goes, We've now found the location of where this transport was going. It went to the DNAB system or DENAB system. So that's where we're going to go in the next episode. Which is they're probably going to string it along for a while, wouldn't they? So they're flying off. And Ahsoka says, "Take us out, Padawan." I'm just like, why are you expecting me to care? It's just like, we already don't have anything on this character, Sabine, and it's just like, "Oh, I'm ready." All right. What are you trying to get out of me with that? I don't know what the goal is when most people don't have context for anything. It's just her coming out and going, "I'm ready." Right, okay. This all happens after one conversation with a droid. One conversation with a droid, she's like, "All right, let's get back into training as a Jedi." That's how it. People don't go through through second thoughts, going over it, mulling it over in their brain. You know, we don't see any of that. It's just, well, the droid told me to, so I guess I should. So, yeah, just, you know, a lack of any effort put into it, really. So this is where the hyperdrive has been taken. It's getting put on this ship there. You know, she says it's the installation of the final hyperdrive. So we're almost ready for, yeah, soon the Eye of Sion will be... So I guess this is what the Eye of Sion is, the big circular ship. So that's what it is. That's what they're going to travel in to go and find Thrawn. I can't wait. I just cannot wait. I cannot wait for the Elon Musk cameo painted blue. So, yeah, she's like... I don't know. What happens here? I haven't even had to... Alright, let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here. So... yeah, I think, like, the Balon, Ray Stevenson's character, says, oh, she, you know, Ahsoka's on her way. And his apprentice said, oh, but we made it out clean. There's no way she could figure out where we are. Do you not remember that ship chasing after you and getting close to you and then just backing off? Sounds like, to me, someone put a tracker on it. Because why else would they just give up? So they didn't think about that. They didn't think, tell you what we'll do, we'll stop at this planet here. We'll check the thing, see if there's a tracker. It's only on the outside, so you should be able to spot it. You know, maybe to be safe, you don't want this Jedi finding you to ruin your plans. You don't think to mention, oh, but a ship chased us. It chased us so far, and then just gave up for some reason. You know, it sounds to me like they put a tracker on you. But none of that gets mentioned. She's just like, nothing can prevent our journey. And that is the end of the episode, based on Star Wars by George Lucas. Every time I see that, I laugh. So that is the second episode. Not as many issues, but still big issues. I don't know what more to say. It's just like this, again, it's not going to be a show that will be watched by many. You're going to have very little viewership with this show. That is very obvious. Because most people, even if they came to check out the first episode, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's no characters with personalities. You've got Ray Stevenson, the only interesting character. That's it. The only intriguing one. Whereas your main character doesn't have that. The other main characters don't have that. There's just very little to them. Very little to them. And you're building off of stuff most people don't have the context for. Which is not an ideal thing to do. That's a thing you could afford to do when you have a full fan base, but you don't have that. You don't have the freedom to make a show like this and expect people to turn up for it. And expect to steer the Star Wars ship around. It's like, that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. I doubt we'll ever see any improvement. But this show so far has been what I've expected. The only thing I can say to praise it is, it's not as dumb as The Mandalorian. That's basically the only thing you can praise. It's not as dumb as The Mandalorian. It's still... They don't seem to have a plan. It seems like we're just meandering along. How many times do we get that with Disney Plus shows now? Every time it's just, fuck it. We've that's 2 episodes done. That's 2 episodes out the way. It's like, all right, we haven't went anywhere yet. We haven't went anywhere. We've just got the fetch quest for the next episode. Which, I guess we're just going to string it out as far as it goes. My guess is they're probably not going to get to Thrawn to the last episode. You know, they like to do that. You know, we've seen it in Mando Season 3. Oh, Moff Gideon's back in the last episode. All right. So that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from this, is it's just going to be the same thing. Long strung out stuff, just filled with stuff that doesn't need to be there. and just not done in a way that is going to capture an audience. So it's not going well so far, with only 2 episodes in, but it is not a surprise.